I love creating felt embellishments. Hey guys, Mayflom, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to make felt embellishments, and I'm going to tell you what I did with mine, but I'm not going to show a full tutorial for the project. We're really just focusing on the felt embellishments. So, with my ScanNCutDX, what I love about this machine, a couple of things. Number one, it can cut up to 3 millimeters, which means I can cut felt. Now in this case, I'm actually going to do some heat transfer vinyl too, because you can always put heat transfer vinyl shapes onto felt, which is super awesome in my opinion. And I also have some felt here that I actually have some adhesive backing to for 2 reasons. Number one, and I leave the paper sheet on there. 2 reasons. Number one, it makes working with the felt much easier cutting it wise. And number 2, it means that I can iron on this material onto whatever I'm putting it on, which obviously makes it a lot easier. So I'm going in here and I'm picking heart shapes. I'm just picking heart shapes for right now because this is what I'm wanting to do. I have this vision of this fiery heart full of fun stuff that I want to make. So I'm picking that first of all. Second of all, what I'm showing you here is if you're wanting to layer different sizes and get a whole bunch of different sizes going for your embellishments, you can do so right here on the screen. You can also go onto your computer or your tablet and use Canvas Workspace. But you know what? This is simple, so I'm just going to do it right here. And what I'm doing is sizing the different things up and down to be the sizes that I feel like will work for what I'm trying to do. So I've got that one, that's the scalloped, I've got the scalloped heart, and then I want to make sure what size I think this heart should be. So basically what I'm trying to do is I'm going to make a scalloped heart, and then the 2 little layered hearts that I put together, I'm going to make those out of vinyl. But I need to know, okay, but what size should everything be, including the felt heart? So by going in here and layering them all on top of each other and editing and looking at approximate sizes and what do I feel good about, what do I like, what do I want, this is letting me see the whole layered piece together. Then what I'm going to do, I'm just pulling that guy out and I'm putting this guy in because I want to use as little vinyl as possible. So I'm layering all that up. Now this guy that I'm pulling out and away, it doesn't really matter where that goes because guess what? First of all, note it's 2.88. That's important, because now what I'm going to do is delete it. And the reason I can't cut the felt and the vinyl at the same time, they're different thicknesses. So first I have to go in and do half cut so that the vinyl cuts. And remember to put the vinyl side up, the transfer material side down, scan it in and cut it out and let it do its thing. And then once it has cut out, you're going to go ahead and then remember that 2.88, I'm just going to pull a heart shape, 2.88, size it, and cut it out of my felt. So there we go with the felt now. And the pattern, select, go into cut, and we're going to take half cut off because we want it to cut all the way through the felt. And then once it's cut all the way through the felt, guess what? We've got our pieces. So with felt, I do like to do more simple designs only because think about cutting felt. If you've cut felt with scissors, you know it can get kind of, depending on the quality of the felt. Some felts are much easier to cut, some are much more difficult, and the same will go with your machine. So I start with simple, and then depending on the brand of felt, the type of felt, some of them will cut better, more intricately, some of them really don't. Now, I'm cutting around because I can save that scrap. I'm weeding the outside first, and then I'm going to show you something. You don't always have to do your vinyl with the transfer material. Sometimes if you have something simple, for example, so there's my heart, and that's kind of my intention to layer it. Now I could do this, which I think would be really pretty, but my actual intention was to save that little heart for later. You can see this one is not on transfer material, but especially on felt because it's a little fuzzy, it'll stick just fine. And I can iron on here, and then I can go and lift off, and boom. Without the transfer material, can you do this? Yes, you can. I only recommend it though with a super simple shape. A super simple shape. I think it works the best. Now, with that in place and that sparkle there, I'm just going in with a needle and thread and just doing different stitches. I'm just going around and adding, the stitches are for color and for little pops of detail and texture and color and all that fun stuff. And you can do as much of this as you want as little. Or as little. It really depends on your preference. I'm also going to add other colors of thread. These are I'm making little X's. I'm also going to add some buttons on here. When we get to this point, if we don't want to use the heat transfer vinyl backing, or if we wanted to make it out of something else, we could. I mention this because when we get to this point, when we've got this could go in a scrapbook, this could go on a card, this could go and on a cover of a journal. This can become a lot of different things. This embellishment can be whatever we want it to be. There's no rule. Now, personally, what I had in mind, and I'm just going to touch on this part, that's the project, right? That's the thing. Make your felt embellishments, do whatever you want with them. What I am going to show you is I actually had an idea to put this onto a zipper pouch. So I'm not going to explain the whole zipper pouch. I'm just going to kind of touch on and show you what I did. So I put it on after I had my fabric all cut and ready for the zipper pouch, so I knew like sizing and position and all of that good stuff. Once I knew all of that, then I took my heart and placed it on and just kind of checked out where I wanted things. And there's my zipper. So you can see here, I've got all my stuff kind of planned out. I've got everything going. I know where I want this. I know I do want the glitter backing, so I know that I'm going to have to iron that on. And that's how I worked from there. I had this project in mind actually when I first started my embellishment, but I was actually making a couple different hearts for a couple different projects. Now I'm adding some stitches here, some additional decoration stitches, but also to stitch that heart into place onto that bag. And I'm wanting to stitch it just onto the raw front fabric because I certainly don't want the stitches to go all the way through the bag. This is a really big benefit for planning a project like this. You want to definitely plan ahead. Where are things going to be? Where are the stitches going to show through? From here, I'll tell you, it's real easy. You stitch the zipper, you stitch the other side of the zipper, you close it out, and you're done. We'll do another video on how to do that another time. For now, I hope I've inspired you to make some felt embellishments, get your ScanNCut out, and have some creative fun. I wish you a wonderful crafty day.